Namaste. How are you today? I hope you're coming to this video feeling empowered, feeling healthy, of course, and feeling ready to process and learn about a technique that has been such an empowerment for me in my life. The technique is called forgiveness, and it is not like I created forgiveness. There is a person that roamed this earth many years ago who kind of has a handle on what forgiveness is about. I know that each of you listening to this at this moment know exactly who I'm talking about, and they know the teaching. Well, I would like to share with you how it came to me personally in my life. And for this, I need to tell you about a chiropractor and a homeopathic physician that I worked for. The homeopathic physician was a person who, when you went to see him, he would diagnose through the channels of homeopathy what was going on and come up with a remedy, which is what homeopathy calls the particular, instead of the medication, the particular remedy that they prescribe for you. Occasionally it would be the case, his name was Mark Ruderman, Dr. Mark Ruderman, he was an osteopathic physician. Occasionally he had a difficulty coming up with the right remedy for the person that he was seeing as a patient. One day it was me, I was the patient, and he did not know which remedy to prescribe. In that situation, he would send someone like me in that situation down to see a chiropractor at the time in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, whose name was Gil Williams. I had never met him the first time I went to him. And the first time I went to him was 30 odd years ago, maybe 32, with my daughter, who was less than 10. She was about 7 or 8. And she was with me with her drawing book. And she was drawing while I was talking to him, a drawing that had a rainbow on it, because she loved drawing rainbows and unicorns and whatever. A beautiful, beautiful daughter. Well, she was sitting there in the corner while I was talking to Dr. Williams about the situation that Dr. Ruderman had been unable to treat. And he said to me, "Serena, you do not need a chiropractic adjustment today. What you need to do is there is someone in your life that you need to forgive." And I said, "Okay, and what is that about?" And he told me exactly who I needed to forgive. How did he do this? That's another story. That's something that I'm not equipped to share with you because I don't know the answer to it. And he said, "I'm going to give you a forgiveness process. I want you to go home. I want you to practice it silently to yourself for approximately 6 weeks. Approximately 6 weeks. At that point, your energy will probably shift and you will come to an understanding of why you needed to forgive this person and why that lack of forgiveness of that person was blocking your energy and creating the symptoms that you presented to Dr. Ruderman." So this is the 3-step process, and believe me, I practice it religiously. I did it exactly as he said. And it goes as follows. I, put your name in it, forgive myself in the name of, and you'll have to fill that in for yourself. Some people might say in the name of higher power. Some people might say in the name of the universe, in the name of nature, in the name of God, whatever you wish to put there. And some people may choose to put it not in anyone's name at all, which is fine too. I, my name, in this case Serena, forgive myself in the name of, for anything I've said or done that has hurt in any way another person. Step number 1. Step number 2. I, Serena, give the other permission to forgive me in the name of. And step number 3, we are forgiven in the name of. And that is it. That is the forgiveness process. Not very complicated. But it goes another step. And the other step, if you choose to take it, and if you choose to invest the time involved in it, is to take an 8.5 by 11 pad of paper, a traditional lined pad of paper, and write the following statement. I, Serena, always put your name in it, forgive the other for the following. And then you let it rip. Whatever you are choosing to forgive the other person for. And you write down in whatever language, however the handwriting you want to use, until your hand gets tired. And you can go on and on and on and on. And you take that piece of paper, you tear it into little pieces, you put it in one of those aluminum foil pie plate pans that you can get in the supermarket when you're buying a lemon meringue pie or something like that. You go outside with a white candle that's lit and a match or a lighter. You light the match to the pieces that you've torn up each time you write one of those pages or multiple pages. And you scatter those ashes. As you scatter those ashes in your mind's eye, visualize that those ashes or those pieces of paper are going down into the soil of the earth, down to the core of the earth, where they are transmuted. And that energy being transmuted is a way of healing the issue and bringing it to a place where you are feeling that you have forgiven the other or yourself. So what to do? You may have to do that for a day. You may have to do it for 5 days, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 months. It may, every time you sit down to write all the things that you're upset with the other person about, it just brings up more and more and more. You do it while your hand is still flexible, because sometimes your hand can just get tired of writing. And by the way, it cannot be on the computer, and it cannot be on your phone, and it cannot be on your iPad. A pen and a paper, or a pencil and a paper. There's something that happens between the hand that's writing or printing and the brain that helps to heal the origins of the condition. So after this, maybe it's after 1 week, maybe it's after 5 weeks, at least 6 weeks, it usually takes at least that amount of time, your letter might shift. I did it with my father. I had issues with my father. It's not uncommon to have issues with a parent. That's part of the reason we sometimes choose the people that we choose to get born to, because we have things to work out with them, perhaps from another lifetime, perhaps from another incarnation. So I did it with my father, different than what I'd gone to Gil Williams for. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And I took it each time and I burned it and scattered the ashes. And each time I visualized it being transmuted, that I would be healed and my relationship with him would be healed. And we would be all in a good place, in a good track. The last letter that I wrote to my father, who by the way was deceased at the time that I did it, the person that you're doing it for does not have to be alive in their bodies when you do it. He was already on the other side, perhaps in heaven. That letter said something to the effect, Dear Pop, I forgive you for anything that you said or failed to say, or did or failed to do, that hurt me or impacted me in a way that was unproductive. And I give you permission to forgive me. And I see us as healing our relationship, because I realize that you are a product of your upbringing, just as I'm a product of my upbringing. And this was an opportunity for me to learn, to grow, to heal the situation that made me your child, your daughter, and that made you my father. And that letter, I did not put a return address. I did put a stamp on it in the days when we had mailboxes on the streets. And it was probably a 10-cent stamp. I can't remember back that far. I went to the mailbox. I didn't go to the post office. I went to the mailbox. I put it in. I mailed it. I sent it with blessings and peace off to wherever. I wrote his name, Heaven, USA, and I let the post office deal with it. So I say to you, that was an unusual set of circumstances that I happened to do with my dad. And I invite you to consider healing any and every relationship in your life which is not harmonious, which is causing you any amount of difficulty or challenge, to go to clearing with it while you're still capable of doing it, while you're alive in your body, while your hand works and you can write. It is a really not good idea to continue carrying baggage through your lifetime. As long as I did that time with my father, which was, of course, a very significant relationship to get through, I decided to bring up any relationship in my past or my life in the present that was causing me any kind of disharmony, and to go through the whole process, 6-week process, of forgiving the other. When I completed any relationship that was not ideal, I felt 1,000 times lighter, and I have endeavored since that time, this is back in the 80s that I did this, I have endeavored since that time to bring up any relationship that is not working and to heal it to the best of my ability in the moment, the way that I've described to you. It is a very powerful thing to do. I recommend that you make a determination and a commitment to doing it. It will free up so much energy in your life. Thank you very much. Good luck to you on your journey. It is one of empowerment. Namaste.